Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're doing a how to build on blue Skadi. So I recently pulled this blue Skadi. She's been out for quite a while. I have recently pulled her from the Lance banner, which is pretty good. And this guy is actually not too bad. She does unfortunately share the same substats as the previous Skadis, but she hasn't got the worst substats. I'm gonna be real, like where it counts. She ain't doing too bad. Pierce rate is actually pretty good. Like I would say it's middle ground, but it's good for a character of her age. It's actually very good. Resistance a little bit on the lower side. I would have preferred about 80 to like 70%, like high 70s, low 80s would have been okay. Crit chance is low, but that's fine. Crit damage is even lower, but once again, it's not too bad. Crit resistance isn't the worst. It's about on par with Transcendent Barn, who doesn't actually have the best crit resistance ever. Crit defense is actually very good. 160%. It's not insanely good. It's not meta breaking, but it is just decent. It is very decent, and I say it's very good. And I'm actually very surprised that she has such a good crit defense stat of a character of her age. She's a very old character. 13% lifesteal, pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed. 2 skills: decrease the hero's defense by 2%. Once for 3 turns, and inflicts damage equal to 250% of attack on one enemy. This is a custom skill that's sort of similar to the red Skadi, where this blue Skadi sort of benefits off being debuffed. So 2 debuffs at level 2, 3 debuffs at level 3, max stacked up to 5 times. That multiplier for level 3 is actually really good. They're all really good. What the hell? 250? I know it hasn't got an effect on it. Like, it's not got pierce rate, it's not got like charge or anything like that, right? But that's still, like, raw damage-wise, not too bad. She has an AoE skill, AoE pierce rate, standard AoE, like nothing to write home about. 150, and then 250. Yeah, it's okay. And then standard Skadi, where she heals her allies. Once again, the actual amount she heals doesn't increase, but the damage does with ult level. So it's not too bad. It's not like Queen Diane, where at 1/6 you're healing like 3% of the damage you deal, or whatever it is, which is kind of useless, I'm not going to lie. Onto a passive, which sort of sets her up to, you know, her main kit. This is what really sort of makes her the character she is. Increase the allies' base stats by 5% up to 20%, and decrease all enemies' attack-related stats by 2%, up to 20% for each debuff applied to the allies. Once again, this is to the allies, not just to herself, which means, for example, if you're versing a Transcendent Barn, I'll use PvP example here. If you're versing a Transcendent Barn, he plays 1 skill, you get 3 debuffs on you immediately, because once again, it's one on each of your team members. That's immediate 6% attack level, which is pretty good. It also means that she's actually quite good for Rat, which is where she exceeds. That is sort of where this part of the passive here, which is the AoE skill bleed thing, it does seem like she was designed mainly for Rat, which is kind of good because, you know, some people don't have character X or character Y, or prefer to run Skadi over Glocks sort of thing, which I understand, right? I understand. In addition, the enemies hit by the AoE skill, so that includes her ultimate as well as her AoE skill, get bleed for 2 turns, and allies' damage dealt is increased by 5% up to 40% for each debuff applied to the enemies. So, the top bit is very like PvE, PvP-ish, like they're both, like this top bit will be useful in both. This bottom half, once again, will also be quite useful in both. That is because they've decided to go for, once again, the bleed, which is quite good for Rat, because you need bleed for Rat, but also increase allies' damage dealt per, you know, debuff the enemies have on them up to 40%, which means in PvP, for example, if you're running, let's say, Red Brynhild, Red Skadi, this blue Skadi, and Tyr, you're immediately starting with 9 debuffs, which means you've immediately maxed out your passive turn 1, you immediately have a 40% damage increase, which is pretty good. And that's why I feel like this Skadi is quite well balanced for her kit. Once again, she doesn't really exceed in PvP, but PvE is where she exceeds, especially in Rat. I have tried it with Lance. The problem wasn't her, the problem was Lance. His damage was just too underwhelming. But once again, you've probably seen that in my Lance video. It's just not worth the stress where you can use someone else. Outfits wise, I really like this outfit. This one also is quite well. It's quite like a relaxed-ish outfit. I do actually prefer this one over this one, but I run this one because it's got the cool shoulder gear bits. So, you have 4 outfits, really, with Skadi. You've of course, actually, I think heroic. Heroic, sorry, increase all stats by 6% up to 3 times if there are no debuffs on the hero and they use the skill. So, of course, she uses a skill which gives herself a debuff, but the effect will apply before the debuff is applied. So, if your first skill is this skill, you'll actually get a stack of her passive before that skill goes off. If you want most stacks, I guess turn 1 of a relic, you play this and you play this, and you end up with 2 stacks, which is 12% all stats, which is pretty good. The main bit that actually makes it quite good is the crit resistance and the lifesteal. Because the crit resistance isn't too bad. If you had 18% to that, you're looking at like a half decent amount of life. Crit resistance, about 96%, which is quite good. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely half decent for PvE. Onto our outfits once again. So these 4 here you get for free. This is the UR one for red Skadi. This is the UR one for blue Skadi. Blue Skadi SSR, and then red Skadi SSR. This is a Hawk Pass one, which they've not brought back since. Artist of the Month. It's really cool. I really like this one. It's something I run on my red Skadi. This is the outfit from red Skadi. From the Hawk Pass outfit. And unfortunately, you don't get any free weapons with her kit, like with any of them, even for affinity sort of thing. Headgears wise, you've got, once again, I think this is the affinity one. So both of them share the same default headgear. This is the affinity for red Skadi, this is the affinity for blue Skadi, and then this is the Hawk Pass one. I'm not clicking on them, because if not, she makes that a really irritating sound. She didn't do it. Okay, apparently she just suddenly does it with the weapons. And then Relic. It's very bad. Like it's quite an old relic, so once again it does have the OG stats like an old relic. But overall, she's not too bad. She does once again excel in Chaos mode or Rat. You can use her in Rat. She's actually used on one of the meta teams for Rat. If not, once again, Glocks isn't going anywhere. Glocks is still quite a solid character. You've got the 40% defense boost for Glocks. I guess she technically can provide you more. To some degree, she also has a healing ultimate as well, but you know, you could really use her and you'd be fine. I guess the attack related stat lower is quite decent on Rat. You mix that with like you know, Liz's stat boost, Liz's defense boost, and he's going to struggle to crit you, which is kind of nice, especially if you don't get the crit chance, crit damage passive. But overall, once again, HP defense is going to be her play. If you don't give her HP defense, she sort of wants it. Like, her damage is like decent, but it's mainly going to be boosted by like Valenti and Liz in Rat. Like, you know, Liz's basic stat boost, Valenti's attack related stat boost, Liz's alt attack related stat boost, Skadi's own stat boosts. Right, that's really where you're going to be getting most of your stat boosts from. And really, you don't really need any more. Like, she's literally just a Rat character, and once again Chaos mode as well. But that's really only way you'll be seeing her. Definitely not in meta. You definitely won't see her in either ungeared or geared, because her CC, as you can see, that's perfect HP defense gear. I know she's in True Awakened than that, but like 60,000 CC is very low. Like, I expect characters nowadays 1/6, no outfits. I would expect them to at least be pushing 63, 64k. Even without True Awakened, without outfits, 1/6 HP defense gear, I'm expecting at least 63 or 64k to consider them a half decent character. Even like Bolte's got half decent CC, and he's triple defense, which, you know, is quite horrendous for CC. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.